Seafood is on the menu today, and we've asked our favorite fish whisperers for some ideas, like
Pesce all'acqua pazza, fish in crazy water.
crazy fast and simple too, from our former culinary producer, Anna Francese Gas.
Look at this. This is a weeknight meal that, it's restaurant quality.
Then we're off to fun and funky Key West to cook with its culinary king, Norman Van Aken.
We're making a version of my Bahamian conch chowder. We're going to use some local fish because conch's not going to be available everywhere.
There's no conch in Kansas.
No conch in
No,
Kansas.
He's got a Key West potluck tradition.
This mysteriously named salad called cutup.
What did you bring us? Oh,
Somebody
what is
bring
that?
avocado, somebody bring mango, somebody bring papaya, and I'll make up the version of whatever cutup was that night.
I love it. I want to propose a toast to the whole
Here's to the
table
fish
for our
whisperers,
delightful neighbors.
today on Sarah's Weeknight Meals.
Hi, I'm Sara Molt.
Over the course of filming 12 seasons of the show, we've had a lot of people in our back kitchens.
You ready? Ready. Okay.
One of them is Anna Gass, who rose from intern to shopper to culinary producer. Then she wrote a book about inspiring immigrant women sharing heirloom recipes, and her life exploded. She's cooked on the Today Show, GMA, Rachel Ray, and contributes recipes to the New York Times. An avid recipe developer, she's at work on a second book about Italian snack foods.
And here it is. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for
fun
having me.
to have you here. So what are we making?
Today, we're going to be making pesce all'acqua pazza. That is Italian for fish in crazy water.
And what is the background of that?
So the way the story goes is the Neapolitan fishermen would go in the coast and get the daily catch, but then they were hungry. So they would skin it and get it ready and then season it with the salt water.
Did they cook it in the salt water?
No, but it's just the way the story goes that, it was this crazy way of cooking the fish.
So where do we start?
First, let's get this beautiful fish.
Interested what kind?
So here we have some halibut. I love halibut.
Oh, that is beautiful. All right, and this is your number one choice?
This is my number one choice, but any solid white flaky fish would work. Cod would also be great. I'm gonna go ahead and season it. Do you wanna put some pepper? I'll do the salt.
Sure.
So.
This is in place of the seawater, huh?
Exactly.
Well, people are resourceful. Why not?
Exactly. You're hungry, you're on the boat.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll flip.
Nice.
All right. So I'm gonna get this in the pan with some olive oil, but why don't you get started on our onion? Let's do half of that minced.
Okay.
And then some sliced garlic. We're gonna do about 1/4 cup of olive oil in the pan. And we're gonna get the fish in. I love that sear.
Why are you using cast iron?
I just love the way it sears up the fish, and it's naturally nonstick.
Now, I'm interested why we're slicing this as opposed to mincing it.
It's just part of the tradition of getting a little bit more bite of garlic. This is about ready. We can take a peek.
Ooh, that looks gorgeous.
Look at that beautiful
I really like
sear.
that crust.
All right.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. So it's not as long on the second side.
No, because remember, we're gonna put this back in and cook it again once the sauce is in.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get these off right now.
Okay. Meow. I didn't eat fish till I was like 35. That was just 5 years ago.
Exactly.
I cooked it all the time. Because I had to as a chef in restaurants.
Right.
But now it's like my favorite thing. What's next?
Now we're gonna add that onion and all that garlic. As you can see, the fish left us a present behind.
Yes.
Now this is called fond, or those tasty little bits that are left with any sort of protein that you cook in a pan. You're just gonna scrape up all those yummy bits. Now We're gonna make it spicy.
Oh, well,
This is
hey,
the other
now
reason-
you're talking.
Now, this is the other reason why it's crazy, right? You wanna cook this for the kids? Add a little bit. You have a bunch of spicy adults, add a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm spicy.
Me too.
Okay, so we're just trying to get a little color on it?
Exactly. All right,
Okay, so what's next?
cherry tomatoes.
Nice. I love cherry tomatoes. They're good all year round. Supposedly always supposed to cook in season, but I will use cherry tomatoes out of season sometimes.
When they're not in season, they don't have as much zhuzh to them, as much sweetness.
Right.
So I add a little bit of sugar.
Oh.
And this does two things. It brings out the sweetness in the tomatoes, and it lowers the acidity of the tomatoes. So for those of you that might be worried about putting tomatoes in your cast iron, this is gonna help bring the acidity down and protect that coating. And now,
A little bit of white wine.
we're gonna add a little bit of white wine.
Okay, so now
We're gonna cover it.
Okay.
For 5 minutes.
Good.
So you're gonna grab some basil, and I'm actually gonna grab bread.
Oh yes, I'm right behind that.
I love serving it with grilled bread.
You want me to
I think
chiffon
that's
on?
great. Yeah, let's get a nice little chiffon on it. You could also, you know, tear it up if you wanted.
That's very
Whatever
Italian.
you like, very Italian.
Okie dokie. Does this look, do we have enough?
I think that's perfect. This is about ready. We can take a peek. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now,
Do you crush them at all?
exactly.
Okay.
I love to just help it along.
Oh,
They're
that
gonna
smells
really
so
just
good.
smush down. I'm gonna add a little bit of water. What that's gonna do is just help this whole process along. We're gonna go ahead and just put some salt in. Not only does it add seasoning, it helps continue to break down. Another quick mix,
Boy, this is really fast.
really fast.
Well, you know, the good thing is when you start with a protein like fish that has no connective tissue, it just really cooks in no time at all.
Exactly.
So that really
So,
helps.
I mean, this really is a weeknight meal that looks like something you'd get in a restaurant.
Oops. You ready?
Well, teamwork.
I have impeccably clean hands.
Perfect.
And the juices go in too, right?
Always.
Yeah.
This is free flavor.
Or liquid gold.
Liquid gold, either or. All right, and then
Lid back on. Now,
Lid
do we
back
want
on.
high or do you want me to turn it down or where do you want it?
now you're gonna put it down to a simmer. You just wanna cook it through the middle, and the sauce is almost done.
So now we're gonna do the bread.
Yes, you're just gonna put a little brush of olive oil across.
And you just do one side or both sides?
I love to do both sides.
I applaud that decision. Yes, that also.
I think this bread's ready.
Yeah,
Let's
that
please.
looks good.
Oh yeah, look at that nice char. Both sides. The olive oil really helped bring that along.
Wow.
Look at that.
There you go.
All right, look at
yeah.
these beautiful big fillets that we have.
Yes,
here.
yum, yum.
And then we can add some basil to the sauce.
Right to the sauce.
Yeah, let's put it right in the sauce. I love taking a whole bunch and putting it right on top.
Basil on top.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, let's open up a restaurant. What do you say?
In Amalfi.
Oh, now you're talking with those lemons.
There you
Okay,
have
there
it.
we go. Okay, so shall we?
Let's eat.
Yes. So good.
Don't forget the bread. Make sure you do a little dip.
Yeah, this is the best part, all this sauce. I'm a sauce girl. Wow. So good. It's been so much fun cooking with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I've just had the best time, and I want to toast to our restaurant in Italy.
Let's do it.
Yes.
In 1971, Norman Van Aken came to Key West to cook, and he didn't want to leave.
The thing about Key West is that most of us knew we were in love with the place. It wasn't just a place to live and work. It was our personal and collective Shangri-La. Long before Jimmy Buffett wrote Margaritaville, we had already pledged allegiance to the magical little scrap of land at the end of the rainbow. We just felt lucky when we walked the old small streets and alleys protected by some ancient maternal force. Something deep in our souls told us this was a place where we could find peace and quiet and camaraderie of like-minded people. On top of that, the city was stamped with a raffish charm, a joie de vivre. You could remake yourself in Key West, and no one minded, as long as you helped keep the good times rolling. We lived day to day, but were intent to do it in quality drinking establishments and places to enjoy the crazy matrix of foods not in most of America, save New Orleans.
In years to come, Norman Van Aken fused the flavors of Key West into something he called New World cuisine. One of the Beard Foundation's who's who and a culinary force in Florida, he returned to his roots to cook with me at a beautiful Key West home.
You know, I feel like we're in the middle of paradise here.
We are.
Yeah, and we're cooking, and it's outside. What are we making today?
We're making a version of my Bahamian conch chowder. Actually, I shouldn't say mine, because when I first got to Key West in the 70s, other people were making for probably centuries. But we're going to use some local fish that people could now make this chowder anywhere, because conch's not going to be available everywhere.
There's no conch in Kansas.
No conch in
No,
Kansas.
no.
I've cooked 2 ounces of slab bacon with a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And then I've got some Scotch bonnet chilies, which are in this dish here so they can stay hot, away from my skin. And then some garlic would go great in here right now, Sarah, if you can reach that. A tablespoon.
Here comes the garlic.
You notice how we sliced the garlic? I didn't mince it up because
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Well, I like the flavor to be more delicate. The more you chop up garlic, as you know.
The more you get out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like the more gentle
Nuanced,
way to
yeah.
exactly. 1 sweet onion. Could you now add that to the pot? I've got some celery, bell peppers. Red bell peppers could be used as opposed to yellow. Yeah, just go ahead and put that in there, Sarah, and I'll stir as we need.
Okay, but I do want you to tell me about Scotch bonnets.
Scotch bonnets are interchangeable with habanero chilies. So much more heat than, say, a jalapeno chili, but they have the Caribbean flavor. I love to use them. Sarah, can you add that yellow pepper that you diced before?
And I'm cutting up these carrots.
I'm going to go ahead and add in the 4 celery stalks that I've diced, and then you add in your chopped up carrot. And I'm going to cut up some fennel. About half of a nice sized bulb is good.
Okay.
We're going to coat the vegetables with the bacon and olive oil fats, because that's going to get that great flavor deeply imbued within the vegetable. So here's our fennel, which adds a nice licorice sort of note to the
Now that's
collection of
interesting. Is
vegetables.
that really traditional in this chowder, or is that something you're adding?
You know, talk to the local conch people, the people of Key West, and you're going to get different versions of recipes all down the line.
Well, the reason I asked is because fennel is rather Italian.
There's a Italian history here. You can do lots of different things, please. Asian influences are also true here, because of the Asians that came to work the railroads in Cuba eventually migrated here as well, Sarah. Let's put a little salt and pepper in here, too.
Okie dokie.
I always like to season
As you go. If you wait till the end, you end up adding way more than you need.
Yep.
And it doesn't penetrate or flavor it the way it should.
Right. And I also cook with my hearing. You know, the sound of this, decided to yank up the heat a little bit, because I want to hear that sizzling continuing to go on. About a tablespoon of the crushed red pepper. Yeah. So we're just going to sprinkle that over there like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to let this cook to 5 to 7, as we say. So let's take a look at that fish we got.
All right. I'm going to bring you up.
The fish that is not conch.
That's local snapper. Boy, is that gorgeous. Clear eye and a nice smooth scale.
Well, that's one of the benefits about being in Key West, is that you have extraordinary bounty of seafood all around us. So we're spoiled, and we admit it. This is a unique version, a variety that's better for snapper. This is called a ham bone snapper. So here we go, just cutting it into not too tiny pieces, because they'll begin to become smaller as we saute them, and also as they cook in the soup. Okay, so a little salt and pepper on there.
Okay.
And then this is happy now. And we'll go ahead and put in the fish stock. About 2 quarts, which we made from the bones of the fish that we filleted.
Now, what if you don't want to go to the trouble of making fish stock? What could you use in its place?
You could either use the bottled clam juice in the store, or chicken stock. All right, so we had some beautiful fish stock. See how nice and clear that is?
Yes.
this is going to add a ton of flavor. And then I'm going to take a couple bay leaves and you just crack them so they release their aromatics. And then I like to start off with the whole tomatoes, Sarah, so that I can put them in here. And then before I add in the tomato puree, I can just take the spoon and give them a little break up. Okay, and then the rest of this.
So I think that was a 28-ounce can of whole tomatoes
Right.
and a 15-ounce can of sauce.
Right, now we're gonna bring that back up to a simmer. So before we move over, let's go ahead and put some herbs in here. What do you
Okay,
say?
so how much time do we need?
About a tablespoon of thyme, and then some sweet basil is always good too.
And how much basil?
About 2 tablespoons of that as well. So some sweet basil, and we'll get the skillet to saute the
Fish,
the
brown
little-
the fish.
the
Yes.
snapper in this
Okay.
case, our ham bone snapper.
I love that ham bone. It's so counterintuitive. Oh, there's no ham in a fish. All right.
Well, you know, the fishermen come up with different names. And... Okay. We go ahead and taste the olive oil, and you can see that it's already starting to add some smoke. So we're gonna lift it off the heat, which you could always do when you're cooking.
Right.
A lot of people at home, you can go ahead and help me.
Yep, I wish.
You lift the pan off the heat,
And the heat goes bye-bye.
it slows things down, and you can hear it. And so what we're going to do is just make sure we don't crowd it too
Got
much.
it, got
Perfect.
it, got it.
Okay. If you have a non-stick pan, by all means, use it.
Well, it looks like you're doing fine because you heated the pan so well, too.
I'm not going to cook this all the way through. I'm just getting that nice little color on there. It's going to make the texture in the soup a whole lot better. I'll flip that over. Now we're going to go into the plate here.
I just want to point out, you want to hold up the spatula?
Sure.
This is the right tool for the job. It's called a, peltic or fish spatula because it's flexible, so you can get under the fish without breaking it.
These are great, and they're inexpensive.
I use them for everything.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's so interesting. Next time I make my New England fish chowder, I'm going to do that.
you're going to get every little bit of the fish bits off the
Right,
bottom of this thing,
right.
too, because you're loaded with flavor.
Do we add the fish to the soup now?
Not quite. We're going to start with the potatoes, so let me go grab the soup.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll just park the fish over here.
Yeah, come on over here. Oh my gosh, the smell of the stock working on top of this, the tomatoes. I am excited.
Now, these are little baby red potatoes that have been pre-cooked.
When you cook them ahead of time, they can drink in the soup.
They absorb more.
They absorb better.
So do you cook them completely or just till they're just barely done?
Just barely done is
Okay.
fine, yeah.
But if you wanted to, you could add them raw.
You could, yeah.
Okay.
Just more time in the soup when that
Got
happens.
it.
So,
Okay.
we're going to add probably about half of these. Let me see before I add the whole amount.
Wanna stand back.
And if you have, you have more than you need, well, make hash browns the next day.
I like the way you think.
American fries,
Yes,
right?
yum, yum. Does that
Okay.
good? Look good?
Oh, that looks good. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we can go ahead and let these guys get to know each other. We'll wait on the fish, and maybe we could begin
The dressing.
You're reading my mind.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to make this mysteriously named salad called cutup.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea, Sarah. As long as I've lived here, I've never heard of this till about 2 years ago. I was invited to a dinner party with Janet, and we went to the home of people who were born and raised in Key West. Somebody bring avocado, somebody bring mango, somebody bring papaya, somebody bring tomato, and they would contribute, and I'll make up the version of whatever cutup was that night.
I love it.
I do too.
Jeez.
So make a simple vinaigrette, right?
Okay, so a teaspoon of sugar
Yeah. So that was dissolve the sugar.
and the salt.
Yeah, and the salt in the vinegar.
Right.
Right.
And how much
A
sugar?
pinch is good, yeah.
Yeah.
So now the vinegar will kind of help
Because
dissolve
it dissolves so much better. It doesn't dissolve well in oil. I'm going to just eyeball. We want a quarter of a cup. I mean, let's see.
And so this is sherry wine vinegar.
I
Which
love it.
sherry vinegar, like balsamic vinegar, has that inherent sweetness.
And also it's high in acidity, which and it's robust. I just love the flavor. It's my favorite. Let's see if that looks like it's dissolved. Can you tell? Okay, yeah. So now we're going to add the 3 tablespoons of hazelnut.
Hazelnut, and then we'll finish with the canola.
Okay.
But this is just going to add a nice gentle coating to the mixture
Right.
of fruits.
Yeah, and
vegetables.
it's interesting. I want to note that we only used a little bit of the nut oil because nut oils can take over. So you always cut them with the neutral oil, and we're using canola. So a half a cup of canola. Okay. There we go.
Grapeseed oil is another one that you could use.
I love grapeseed oil. That's
Yeah.
actually my favorite because it's so neutral. It's funny, when I went to cooking school, I would go back to when I went to cooking school, I thought something with no flavor, why would you ever add that? But oil isn't just in there for its flavor, it's in there for a whole bunch of reasons.
Can I add just a touch of
Yeah, go, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, this is your recipe.
All
You're in
right.
charge.
I love cooking with you.
Well, I love not being the person in charge. I mean, not that I'm usually these days, but.
That's our vinaigrette.
Okay, so now we're just waiting for your guests.
We have to wait for them because they are going to be the people who bring us the ingredients for the cut-up.
I got it.
We'll be in mystery space for a little while.
The fish, we wait till the very end.
Pretty much, yes. This is looking good, Sarah. So while it's getting happier, let's go have a glass of wine.
Oh, yes, let's.
Let's do that.
Yes. So you've been here for a million years.
Oh, yes. I came here as a child, basically. I'm 21 years old.
And your son lives here now, too?
He does. My son, daughter-in-law, and our granddaughter, Audrey.
Wow. I love this weather. Wind coming in from the ocean. Love it.
Oh, wow, look at it. Here's Maria and Rob.
Oh, mangoes are a little
Hi.
gift.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. Hey, Rob. Oh, good. How are you? Thank you for
Okay.
our
my
cut-up
You'll
salad.
do better with that than we will.
Oh, my
wow, that
gosh,
is one
so
huge papaya.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Here comes the other cut-ups.
Yeah, that looks like the littlest cut up. What did you bring us? Oh, what is that?
Avocado.
An avocado. Thank you.
Nice.
Come on in.
Go grab your seats, and Sarah and I are gonna make some salad for you all.
Yeah, that's great.
Sarah, look what they brought us for the cut-up salad.
Oh, wow, that is one huge papaya.
That's the Jamaican papaya, and these are the local Florida avocados.
Right.
For cut-up, everybody brings something from their backyard. I brought the mango.
Oh,
Not actually from my backyard, but from a close-by backyard.
you pilferer, you.
Now,
You're taking off the top and the bottom.
yeah, I do it this way. I've seen other people do it other ways, but then...
The pit goes down the middle.
Yeah, so it's the oblong kind of way. And so I cut that there, and then I have to make room for the pit.
Yeah.
So this part actually, I can use the fruit that's over there, but then what you do is you take the knife and you, without going completely through the skin,
You score it.
you score it, well, deeply, like this,
Go all the way down.
all the way
But
down
not
like
through
that.
the skin.
And then this way as well. And you'll end up with a cubed mango already. So watch this. Try and make sure that you're not going to have the skin go into it. And you see like that?
That is beautiful. That was a magic trick.
That's a
I like that magic trick. Let me get you a bowl to put this
Okay.
in.
And meanwhile, I'll cut the other one up, okay? So this is the last little bit that we're going to get those nice
Yeah.
cubes out of. And then we have the local Florida avocados here.
As I recall, these are lower in fat, a little more watery, not quite as concentrated in flavor, but they're delicious.
Delicious. I love them.
And local.
And local. Okay. These are Jamaican papayas, so they're the big boys. Nicely done.
Cut it into cubes roughly the same size.
The skin is definitely not flavorful that you want, so you want to make sure you get rid of the skin. You just want to shape it to where it's going to be in the same kind of relative size cube so that it's nice and even for the salad. Yes.
Oh, that is so beautiful. All right, so should we put our dressing in there?
Please, yeah.
You know what?
There we go. There we go.
I just made a decision.
Yeah, executive decision.
Time for fish?
Yes, please. All right, there is our ham bone snapper. That's going to go in there, if you would. And then I'm just going to fold that in. And I bet you want to add a little hot sauce.
I do. I
No.
thought you'd never ask. But the older I get, the more excitement I need.
There, bottled excitement. Go
Okay.
ahead. Beautiful. We could also put some of that on the table for people who are even more ba-boom.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, that's it.
It's ready to take to the table.
All right.
All right.
Boy.
I get to
Okay,
sit next to
everybody dig
Maria.
in. This is my
you,
favorite kind of
everybody.
soup. So, how's everybody like the heat in this?
Is it too spicy for you?
Settle rides. It's good. You can cook for us anytime you like.
Although he did most of the work. Yeah, he did most of the work. I have a question, everybody. How many people at this table are conchs? Wow. Just one, the littlest.
Yes, Audrey.
Nice.
Is anybody here a freshwater conch?
Wait,
We are.
what is that?
Okay, so when you're born here in the Keys, you're automatically a conch, a saltwater conch. But if you live here for a certain period of time, you're considered a freshwater conch.
And how many years is required?
I believe it's 7. So I'm working on my citizenship.
Of the Conch Republic.
Of the Conch Republic. I want to propose a toast to the whole table, to our delightful neighbors here, not mine, but yours.
Yes.
For coming, for bringing fruit to cut up. And I want to know, is there a conch toast?
Drink up.
Cheers, cheers, girl.
That's it.
Yay,
Good.
you did it.
You did well
Cheers.
on that cheers.